check it out. This is what we're doing. We finally got the PS5, and the main thing I want to test out right now is pretty much see if this PS5 over here, which I haven't unboxed yet, whether it works with my two new monitors that I got. They're 1440p, 240 hertz. So the first thing I'm gonna do is open this up, show you guys what's inside, and then set it up and download Warzone if it's possible, and kind of see, you know, what type of frames per second I get. So if I can get 1440p with 120 frames per second, you know, I made it. I'm good. So a few things before that, I'm gonna hope Warzone downloads on it, and yeah, I'll probably have you guys, you know, watch some gameplays of Warzone right after. You guys can watch me on twitch.com. We're about to get some unboxing in right now of the PS5. Let's get it. Alright, so we're gonna get a quick unboxing video of this. So I got the disc edition, which is apparently the more popular one. I'm gonna open this guy up. Alright, so over here we have the power cable. Put that aside. We got the new PS5 controller. Oh, wow, this feels real nice in the hands. I'm gonna put that aside. We got some manual books. Let's take this apart. And got some more cables over here. I'm trying to get this video done pretty quick because I'm trying to go download Warzone, which might take a while. So over here's a little stand. So they say to pretty much, you know, use this even if you're putting it a vertical way, which I'm probably gonna do. And then over here we got the infamous HDMI 2.1 cable. So this is basically a very high bandwidth cable that is capable of doing 4K 120. But if you don't have a monitor that has HDMI 2.1 input, there's no point. You can do 4K 60, but very important cable. Do not lose this. Do not mix this up with your other HDMI cables. Save this. Put that aside, and then finally we got the other infamous cable, the USB Type-C cable. I know a lot of people are pretty tired with the micro USB because, you know, it ruined a lot of cables. It ruined a lot of controller ports. So this over here is game changer. You can pretty much just put this in any way and it easily just plugs in. So love it. And here comes the console. Let's go. I'm gonna take this guy off, take the little wrapper off. And here we have it, the brand new PlayStation 5. There's a quick unboxing over there. I'll quickly go over the ports. On the front end, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'll probably zoom in. But basically we have a USB Type A port and a USB Type C port over here. We have the eject button and the power button. And then the back end, we have two USB 3.0 ports, Ethernet port, HDMI 2.1, and your power. Here it is. Looks amazing. Feels a little heavy, but who's gonna be carrying it, right? All right, so let me quickly put the stand on. So here's the screw. The stand is on, and I'm gonna sit it pretty much vertical, just like this. First impressions, I love it. It looks amazing. It looks futuristic. It looks like it's the next gen console. So let's see how it plays. Oh, you can already tell this is gonna be a dust catcher. All right, so let's get it booted up. I connected my Elgato HD60S to get some screen recordings in. You can't connect it right away, so you have to first connect your PS5 like you normally would with the HDMI cable onto your screen, and then you would go down to System. You're gonna go to HDMI, and then you're gonna turn Enable HDCP off. If you don't do this, I think my camera's kind of crooked. Let's change that up. All right, so if you don't do this, you're basically gonna get no output onto your screen. So you gotta first turn your PS5 on, connect it normally with the HDMI cable to your monitor, and you're gonna turn HDCP off. Once you do that, you can then connect your Elgato HD60S or any other capture card from your PS5 to the capture card, and then from the capture card to your monitor. It'll then display. So that was the first thing I did. One thing I'm kind of upset about is I have the Arctis Pro wireless gaming headsets. So these headsets with the PS4, it used to use the optical cable because the PS4 had an optical in port in the back of it. However, this PS5 does not have an optical port, so I have to listen to the audio through the USB port. Alright, so I finally figured it out. It took me a little while, so I started up Cold War, as you can see over here. So when you start up, when you go to the graphics setting, ray tracing is automatically enabled. What you have to do is you have to disable it, and then over here, this is grayed out because it says to enable, your TV has to first support 120 hertz, and performance mode needs to be selected. So what that means is you have to go to your settings, and then to officially enable 120 hertz, you have to turn on performance mode. So before we do that, let's go to screen and video, and we'll check out the video output information. So right now I'm running a 1440p monitor. It's the Samsung Odyssey G7. The problem with this monitor is that, well, there's nothing wrong with the monitor. The problem with the PS5 is that it does not support native 1440p. So as you can see, once you go in here, you'll see the resolution is set to 1920 by 1080 at 60 hertz. So this is like PS4 refresh rate, and you know, we can't have that. It does not find my 1440p resolution, and that's because PS5 only supports 1080p and 4K monitors. And the CEO has said something like they might update the software for it to support 1440p. So the functionality is there, but PS5 did not offer it. Down the line, hopefully soon, they'll offer native 1440p. So right now, what happens is they pretty much scale up 1080p to 1440p. It's not the best, but it is what it is. So there's a few things that I uncovered while I was trying to show you guys 120 frames per second working. Number one, I'm using an Elgato HD60S to show you guys the screen capture. And the Elgato HD60S does not allow 120 hertz pass-through. And I found that out by doing some research. I called Elgato. They confirmed that the Elgato HD60S cannot do more than 60 hertz pass-through. And I understand it's probably an obvious question because it's in the name, the 60 and HD60S. But what I initially thought was that the pass-through portion of the capture card won't limit any of your native refresh rate that you're trying to pass through, and that only the capture quality will be limited to 60 frames per second or 60 hertz. But you know, that's not the case. But apparently the Elgato 4K 60 allows for a guaranteed 144 hertz refresh rate. So I just picked that up. I'm gonna install that in my PC sometime soon. So what I'll do is when I do install it, I'll get you guys some game footage at 120 frames per second. But right now, there's no point of actually showing you guys some Warzone clips or Cold War clips because you're pretty much going to see some PS4 quality gameplay. However, if you guys do want to watch some gameplay, you guys can follow me on twitch.com. I stream daily on there, and you guys can watch some Warzone gameplay, some Cold War gameplay. You guys can come over there, ask me some questions, see what type of setup I have, see what I've done with the PlayStation 5 setup, my PC setup, because right now what I'm doing is I'm kind of switching from PS5 to playing on PC, back to PS5, just so I can get like a balance of the two and kind of play with some friends that are primarily playing on the PS5, and when some of them are not on, I'll be playing on PC. But yeah, let's get to it. So what I'll do is, since I can't capture the display at 120 FPS, I'll need to prove it to you guys by pretty much taking my phone camera, and I'm gonna just take a video of the screen so you guys can see that this actually works and that we can actually get 1080p at 120 hertz. We're gonna go over to the settings, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go down to save data and game app settings. So once you go there, you're going to go down to game presets, and you're going to change your performance mode or resolution mode to performance mode. I think by default it's on game default or resolution mode, so you're going to want to change this to performance mode. And once you do that, you'll be able to get the 120 frames per second. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna disconnect the Elgato and I'm gonna switch over to the iPhone camera, and I'm gonna take a little clip of actually getting 1080p at 120 hertz. I'm gonna show you guys what the settings are right now. Again, on the iPhone camera, I'll go to settings. We'll go all the way down to save data and game app settings. Once you go there, you go to game presets, and you guys can see that it's on performance mode. And if we go to screen and video, you guys can see it's still 1920 by 1080. So what happens is a lot of the times these settings change based on the games you play. So we'll go to Cold War because Cold War supports the 120 hertz. We'll start it up, go to multiplayer, and we'll start by pressing the option button. You'll move over to the graphics tab. You'll go down to where is the ray tracing? It's disabled, and 120 hertz is now enabled. You guys can see right now it's grayed out, but it says enabled, right? So ray tracing is disabled and 120 hertz is enabled. So I'll back out of this menu by holding down the PlayStation button. The game is still running right now, so I'm gonna go over to the settings tab, and right now we'll go over to screen and video just to make sure that we're actually getting the 120 hertz. We'll go to video up information, and boom, it says 1920 by 1080 at 120 hertz. So there you go. That's how you do it. So when you first change it to performance mode, it does not right away change the refresh rate to 120 hertz, but based on your game and your game settings, it'll automatically change to 120 hertz. So there we are. So one more time, as you can see, you'll go to the graphics tab, and then it's grayed out. You can't change it, but you have to have ray tracing disabled, and then the 120 hertz refresh rate will automatically enable. All right, so that wraps it all up. I hope this video helped you guys, and if it did, drop a like below and share it with your friends. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll get to them pretty quick. With that being said, I'll see you on the next one.